The Simple Sage. Buddha's Cure for the Fear of Losing What You Love. Part 1 of 5. Why we fear losing what we love, the Buddhist diagnosis. There is a fear that lives quietly beneath almost every love we hold. It does not announce itself. It does not arrive with warning. It simply waits, folded into the joy of holding someone close, the comfort of a familiar home, the quiet safety of a life we have built. The fear of losing what we love. Most of us never name it. We feel it instead. A tightness in the chest when a loved one is 10 minutes late coming home, and the mind starts writing stories we don't want to hear. The phone rings at an unusual hour, and before we even answer, something in the body braces. A flicker of dread when we watch our children sleep. That strange moment where love and fear arrive together, where we lean in close just to hear them breathing. A quiet ache when we sit across from an aging parent, and for just a second we see them as they will be one day, and not as they are now. It shows up in smaller ways too. The reluctance to say goodbye at an airport, holding on a beat too long. The habit of taking one more photo, as if the photo could hold what the moment cannot. The sudden heaviness that comes over an ordinary Tuesday evening, dinner on the table, everyone home safe, and somewhere underneath the comfort, a whisper, "This won't always be like this." Even joy carries it. The best day of a vacation is also the day we start dreading its end. The deeper we fall in love, the more we lie awake calculating, quietly, without meaning to, all the ways it could be taken from us. We rarely speak this fear aloud. It can feel irrational, even shameful, as though naming it might invite it closer. So we push it down, distract from it, busy ourselves past it. But it does not leave. It simply waits beneath the surface of every love we hold, dormant until a late night phone call, a stumble on the stairs, or an ordinary trip to the doctor's office brings it rushing back up. The Buddha did not look away from this fear. He looked directly at it, the way he looked at all suffering, not to explain it away, but to understand its root. And what he found was this: the fear of loss is not separate from love. It is woven into the very way we love. We do not simply love a person, a place, a moment. We reach for it, we hold it, and somewhere in that holding, without meaning to, we begin to grip. This is what the Buddha called attachment. Not love itself, but the clinging that grows around love when we forget that all things change. Consider how naturally this happens. A parent does not decide to fear losing their child. The fear arrives the moment love does, because to love deeply is to have something precious, and to have something precious is to know somewhere in the body that it can be taken. This is the first truth the Buddha asked us to sit with, not as a grim fact to be feared, but as a fact to be understood. Everything that has a beginning has an end. Every person we love, every home we build, every season of our life, all of it is moving, all of it is changing, all of it is, in the Buddhist sense, impermanent. We resist this truth constantly. We build our lives as though the people in them will always be there. We treat good moments as though they are owed to us, as though love once found becomes permanent, simply because we wish it to be. And so when change comes, as it always does, it does not feel like the natural unfolding of life. It feels like betrayal. This is the root the Buddha uncovered. Our suffering does not come from love. It comes from our refusal to accept that what we love was never ours to keep in the first place. This is not a teaching of despair. It is a diagnosis. the first step of any real cure. Before we can find peace with loss, we have to understand why we fear it so deeply. And the Buddha's answer is startlingly simple. We fear losing what we love because we have quietly convinced ourselves that we could hold on to it forever. We cannot. No one can. And yet, this is not the end of the teaching. It is only the beginning. Because once we see clearly why the fear exists, we can begin to ask a different question. Not, how do I stop this from ever ending? But how do I love fully, knowing that it will? That question is where the Buddha's real medicine begins, starting with one of his most quietly devastating teachings, the story of a mother who could not accept that loss touches every home. We'll sit with her story next. Today's desire. Today, simply notice. When you feel that flicker of fear for someone you love, in traffic, at bedtime, in a quiet moment, don't push it away. Just notice it and say quietly to yourself, this fear is here because my love is real. Let that be enough for today. This is part 1 of a 5-part journey through the Buddha's cure for the fear of loss. Part 2 continues with the story of Kisa Gotami and the mustard seed. You'll find it linked in TJ description, and the whole series is waiting for you in the playlist below. If tonight's teaching gave you a little more peace, you can bring a piece of it home with you. You can also find our link in TJ description to our online store. Thank you for sitting with me today. See you in part 2.